Chessman Dan. Continue on to day 3 with my chess journey. Recap for today's training. I did another 30 minutes of puzzles, played a few games with the wife, and then watch videos. Alright, so in this video, if you wanted to know how a masterclass London system operates and the 300 ELOs, don't watch this video. So we're going to start off with the D pawn, natural responses. Boom. Thus far in a few moves, slowly developing my pieces. I'm not going to explain to you how the London works because I don't even know fully myself. But idea, I'm building the pawn pyramid. That's where the first mistake should have made. It's not a bad move, but ideally I would want to move the knight to D2 instead of moving the knight to G3 or F3. Still not the worst move, however, I don't want to get in a habit as I climb through the ranks and fight harder opponents, compete against fighter opponents. If I do not move the knight to D2, I'm running the risk of having my rook smothered, and that's no bueno. However, we're still doing good. See up here, thus far, we're in the opening. It's half and half. Nothing's happening yet. So this is where during the London, and from the research I've done, I have to alter the way I play the London depending on how my opponent moves. I see him move the dark squared bishop out, attacking my dark squared bishop, and the natural move is to move it back. The idea being, if he takes, I take with the pawn in the H2, opening up my H file. He develops as the knight. I develop my knight. Should have moved it. Probably would have been better to move it to D2. However, it's not the worst move. He takes. No biggie. I'm more than okay with losing that bishop if it means it's a 1-for-1 trade, and it opens up my H file. This game is still 50-50, but I'm really liking how it's going. Thus far, no complaints. Boom. He moves his knight out. I'm practicing before I respond to someone's movements. I like to see what he's attacking with. And when he moved that knight out, he's only attacking one pawn. He's not really dealing any threats to me. Don't really worry about it. However, I move my light squared bishop out, continuing to London. He castles. I get really excited. Based on the videos I've seen of the London, typically black castling short side is kind of what you want, when you're looking for a mate. Yeah, you're gonna see real quick how quickly I screw this up. All right, light squared bishop takes the hanging pawn. This is awesome. It does two things: free pawn, and I'm continuing movement. If I were to be 100% frank with you all, for anyone who watches the video, I understand that my bishop cannot be taken because it's protected by the rook on the H file. However, despite me knowing this was bishop, I assumed this was checkmate. Why? Because I didn't consider the knight moving one square over. No biggie, I'm still winning. At this point, if we move my face down, I'm up 2.9. In terms of the opening, I'll show you at the end, but chess.com says I had an accuracy of 94% for the opening. That's damn near perfect. Especially for 300 ELO. Come on. Alright, move it back. This is where I think I make one of the first real mistakes of the bishop. What I should have done is, instead of moving my light squared bishop here, I should have moved it one square over. And the reason for that is that, and you're going to see shortly, if my opponent was savvy enough, I'm opening up to attack. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't let me do that. But you're going to see real quick. He moves his knight back. Probably the best move he done. This is where I start to make the first mistake. Second mistake. Moving my knight out. My king out. Why would I do that? My thought process as a 300 elo person with not a full understanding of how the London works or how chess works, I wanted to get the first rank open, right? So far, not bad. This is where I make another mistake. I see my bishop being taken, and I don't take it with the bishop. I take it with the knight. Why is that? I don't know. Right? Take it. It's not the best. It's not the good move, right? I understand that the queen is applying pressure on my knight. However, it's being protected by the bishop. And this is what happens when I don't move my light squared bishop back. He takes. I take with the pawn. Taking with the pawn, I would have been better to take it with my knight because it allows my knight more access, right? A pawn out here accomplishes nothing. It doesn't defend much except for the king, kinda, not really. Alright, light squared bishop. Or he moves it out, putting pressure on my king, or my knight, nothing else. I move my knight out, boom, he takes. I should have taken. So this is where I make the first freaking mistake. I try to do a fork. I understand. I'm slowly learning. I learned the idea of forking, right? The idea is if I were to go here, this is probably not the best example. However, ideally your fork, it would be in the check, right? I'm checking the king, but I'm also putting pressure on the queen. The king would have to move. Boom. Free queen. Right? Makes sense to me. However, this pawn is being guarded by a counting game here. It's guarded by 1 bishop, 2 rook, 3 knight. I take as a check. Yes, the king can move, but does it have to? It could be taken by the knight. It could be taken by this. It could be taken by that. 3 pieces. And me, I was naive enough, myself, I was naive enough to believe that despite this knight and that pawn being protected by 3 strong pieces, I thought that he was going to go here. And then I could have... Or if he would have done that, I'm pretty sure that would have been mate, because my naive train of thought, no, it wouldn't have been. But regardless, I thought that. And that's not what happened. He takes for the bishop. I don't know if that would have been the better one. I think maybe it would have been better to take that. Maybe not. I don't know. Regardless, dumb move. Take. Now he's attacking my knight. My knight is now being pressured by both the dark squared bishop, or light squared bishop, and the queen. Should I have moved it? Probably, because yes, the knight is being defended by my light squared bishop. However, take. Yes, I got a bishop, but he's still up a bishop. Oh, yeah, and I'm down 2 bishops. However, I also have no knights. So now I'm really losing. We continue on. Hey, Black, Mr. Black. Do you want me to give you the game as well? Give you my winning hand as well as give you a hanging pawn? Well, here you go. Boom. Where we're at. So we're on step. If we go back to 9. Step 9. I go from a 2.7 advantage. Right? Now, from a 2.7 to negative 19. He's about to continue. He's gonna start the checkmate push. At this point, you're gonna see the rest of the moves are really dumb. What makes it even more dumb is the fact that each move was taking tens and tens of seconds, to the point that I start running out the clock. We're gonna continue forward. I move the king. It's probably the worst move. By me moving this king, and the system's gonna tell you, I introduced him mating. Mate at 9. Alright. I should have moved to my king to the f2 pawn. My square. I don't. At this point, I'm down so much time. I'm just moving. right? He starts chasing me. We're now mate in 4. So we go from having almost a 3-point advantage to mate in 4. Right? I target the pawn. I try to put pressure on the queen. However, the queen's going to move regardless. Boom. Yeah, we're done. The game's over. This was the last move I made. I had a few seconds left. I just resigned. Yeah. And if we go here. Just to show you the accuracy and how quickly I go from doing really good to losing. The opening. Boom. Up until I take that hanging pawn at 94% accuracy. For 300 elo person, pretty good use of the London system. My opponent not playing too bad, 70, almost 80% accuracy. And then 0. Yeah, 318 elo. That was the end of day 3. See y'all tomorrow.